Welcome back to your latest industry recap from an airline growing its fleet to a new aircraft order and some fascinating developments at Alaska Airlines. Why not begin there with the company recently confirming expansion to Seoul, Incheon, and now they've set their sights on further international growth. The airline, which now has Hawaiian Airlines assets at its disposal, aims to launch services to Europe in 2026, a real signal of intent for its future for the long-established airline now part of a broader group. Speaking at an event in New York, Alaska Airlines' CEO confirmed that European destinations are on the radar, and they're still very much hopeful that this will come next year. The catch is that these new flights are as a result of Alaska Airlines' lack of wide-body aircraft in its mainline division, set to actually be operated by Hawaiian Airlines. Alaska Airlines operates with only single-aisle types, so how will these long-haul flights be made possible? Well, like I said, following approval to take on Hawaiian Airlines, they're now going to leverage that airline's wide-body fleet to access more international markets, and they see Seattle as the perfect launching pad moving forward. Alaska Airlines has already confirmed its intent to offer 12 international non-stop destinations from Seattle with wide-body planes by 2030, really driven by Hawaiian Airlines. Tokyo and Seoul are the first two locations of the 12 that will be launching this year. The remaining 10 locations have naturally not been disclosed, let alone figured out. However, the intent to begin flying as far as Europe certainly now emphasizes another market has opened itself up to Alaska Airlines as they look to solidify themselves as part of now you consider the big four in the US, especially on the West Coast. The 787 Dreamliner will play an instrumental role in making these new international routes possible in an efficient manner and for the long term. This is, after all, the latest addition to the Hawaiian Airlines business, and you can expect it to continue being delivered in the coming months and years. And as more units enter service, well, Alaska Airlines will leverage the next generation plane and move them towards Seattle to help the broader group achieve network connectivity and compete with more established airlines that are part of the big three in the US, your United, Delta, and American Airlines. Seattle becomes key to achieving all of this alongside having the Dreamliner at their disposal, offering greater connectivity across the Pacific Ocean towards Asia and then across the Atlantic towards long-haul European locations. Fundamentally, the changes that are being witnessed will not see Hawaii disappear as a global hub. However, the realization is certainly beckoning that the role of this country and the national airline may not be what it once wanted to be. Now, under the wings, however, of Alaska Airlines, there are fresh possibilities, and Seattle's leverage and geographical positioning to really invent itself to be a true global international hub is a direction that they believe will be a profitable and a positive one for the long term. Hawaii will not be out of the picture because the routes say do not originate from there. Alaska feels that it'll actually be quite the opposite, with a great perspective on now feeding traffic from the country onwards, but also just as importantly to it, easier than ever before. They feel a match made in heaven, but I'm keen to hear your take down below. It's still very much early days, and a lot has to be figured out. We also need to better assess the reception, but obviously the deal got approved for a reason, so like I said, keen to hear your take. Lot Polish is continuing with efforts to expand its own fleet by confirming it'll acquire 2 more 787 Dreamliners. The airline's chief executive confirmed the announcement as they seek to elevate their long-haul flying to many more markets. Moreover, this was a deal that was backed by the nation's transport minister. The aircraft acquired on a lease are for the smallest variant in the family, that is your 787-8s, and will complement the airline's existing commitment to the Dreamliner. They are very much familiar with this plane. Data does indicate they have 15 of these to their name, all evenly spread across the 787-8 and 787-9. 2 units are parked, it means 13 are active based on the fleet data that I have available at the time of recording. So like I said, these should just really fit seamlessly into their operation. They don't need to get, say, acclimatized to a brand new product or anything like that. As part of the latest leasing agreement, Lot Polish confirms the planes are expected to be delivered in 2026. Interestingly, according to the airline's CEO's comments, these planes are actually ones in service with an unnamed airline. Ultimately, the latest arrangement follows the airline's most recent also confirmation that they're seeking new planes for their regional flying. So therefore, we find ourselves with this company amid a real critical fleet renewal stage. Acquiring 787s on a lease and also this taking place next year enables an immediate increase in capacity instead of forcing the airline to wait for available delivery slots from Boeing to open up. Moreover, with those persistent delivery delays experienced of late, there's also no guarantee that the airline would be able to get its planes on time, if directly from the source. And again, leasing giants of the world just sometimes present far greater opportunities and stability for an airline depending on their set of circumstances. On to the final story, where we have Boeing confirming a big order for their 737 MAX series, with BOC Aviation committing to the aircraft. The American plane maker really does have a strong relationship with the aforementioned lessor, and now that order book has increased to 139 unfilled orders. As part of the latest commitment, the leading global lessor has confirmed it'll order 50 of your middle ground 737-8s, and this will go alongside existing commitments for not just the Dash 8 model but also the Dash 9. BOC Aviation sees the purchase as essential to continuing to provide solution to airlines right around the world that require what is the most advanced single-aisle jets in the business to help their business, especially focusing in on that future fleet. Single-aisle jets such as the 737 MAX hold a vital place in our industry, with over 75% of future deliveries for the commercial airplanes divisions around the world to account for this type of aircraft in the coming decades. And no, I'm not just meaning the 737 MAX, but single-aisle planes. So as a result, with valuable delivery slots being captured, airlines and lessors need to dip into the market now to secure their purchases sooner rather than later, so that when the time comes in the 2030s and we're seeing demand increase likely tenfold, airlines have the aircraft they require, or at the very least already have established delivery timeframes that they confirmed 8 or 9 years prior. But not all airlines are in a position to do that. This is why they may venture down the leasing route, and with lessors under a lot of pressure, they need to continue purchasing aircraft to also prepare for what they'll find in 2030. These substantials therefore keep coming as plane makers look to battle it out for valuable contracts and are seeing their backlogs continue to increase tenfold. It isn't a lie that when we look at some of the most in-demand products around, that their delivery slots are unavailable between now and the end of the decade. Boeing calls the deal a very positive one. They see the investment as a further demonstration of the 737 MAX's importance for operators and also the confidence that is there, especially that of lessors, with the usage across many airlines. The 737-8, which is part of the 737 MAX family, can seat up to just over 200 passengers depending on the configuration that is chosen. When you pair that with the efficiency on paper, well, these have really been a fantastic plane to acquire across a long-term period. For Boeing, however, the many issues the program has experienced has hindered its operational successes, maybe to the extent that Boeing would have liked. But BOC Aviation hopes this problem will solve itself relatively soon, and the latest purchase is really an emphasis on its long-standing commitment and belief in the plane maker. Arguably, the only problem with the backlogs increasing and massive demand for airplanes has been the ability on the manufacturer's part to keep up with the demand and ship off aircraft to customers on time. It is going to be a very fascinating next few years, and the orders just keep tumbling in. Keen to hear your take down below in the comments. Thanks a bunch for your support here on the channel. Take care, do be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next industry recap.
And we'll